Good morning, everyone. Okay, as promised, everybody wanted this, so we're starting. Craft along. Yay. No, I meant that. That didn't sound like I meant that, but I did. Okay, this is the Graceful Women. Graceful Women? Yeah, that's what I called it. And I wasn't going to show any of this stuff because, you know, in my opinion, this part's boring, but it's tedious, I guess, is more the word to use to describe it. I've already gone ahead and done this signature, but I wanted to show you. I will be, pausing this, and I'll attach the videos all together, make it one video. Hopefully it won't be super long. But I wanted to show you my thought process as I put this together. So the first thing I do is obviously print my kit, and I print on both sides. Then I trim it to the size that I want. Now when I print mine out, I always have a border, so I trim that all off. I usually trim the length at 8 1/4 inches. I don't know what that is in centimeters, but I can tell you. 8 1/4 is 10, 8 1/4. I don't know. This ruler's backwards. I don't know what it is. Well, let's do it this way. Yeah, I've only had 1 cup of coffee. It's really early, you guys. It's 21 centimeters. And then I just trim off the white edges. As you can see when you're looking at it, you can see the pages sticking out. I like that, personally. You don't have to do it that way. If you wish to do it where it's all lined up, you're going to lose a lot of image when you do that. Just so you know ahead of time, you'll lose a lot of image. But the way I do that when I'm putting a book together is I start from the center. So you get your pages in the order that you'd like them to be in, and then start in the center. And then what you're going to do is trim it up. Sorry, I lied. Didn't mean to. What you're going to do is start with the front page, because this will be your white border. You don't want the white border, so trim the white border off. Unless, of course, you print in, full page, then, yeah, you don't, you're going to trim as much as you want. But as you go, just know that this will get smaller and smaller to the point where, you're going to lose some of your image. So you've got your front page. You can go about, I want to say 3 or 4 pages, depending on how many pages you have in between. In this one, I have 2 pages, then a flap, and then a tea stain. Now, I always do my tea stain ones a little narrower. I don't know why. I just do. I just find it makes it easier to find the page when you're flipping the page. I don't know. So as you go, you'll count your pages, say about 3. And then on your 4th, you'll trim off just a hair more. Line it up and see if you like it. If not, take off a little bit more, and then do another 3 and continue on till you get to the center. That's how I make mine even when I want to. In this case, I don't want to. I added a bunch of frames for this kit, so I want them in the book. I want them to show. That's why I decided not to do it that way. And then, of course, I decide what corner I want to punch. And after I've lined everything up, I start inking. And I keep them together as long as possible. When I'm inking, I start from the center. I just find it easier. Put it aside. I've already started this one, but just go ahead and ink up your edges. I always do an envelope for the inside of mine. It's completely unnecessary, but that's the way I like it. I like it to cover most of my stitching. Some people like the stitching showing, and then they tie it off and have little danglies, which is really cute too. I like mine clean. I don't know. It's the OCD in me, I think. Yeah, I'm very contrary. On the one hand, I have an artist brain, which is usually kind of a mess inside there. And, you know, I create well when I have chaos, but not in my actual workspace. That has to be clear. But around me, yeah, you guys can't see that. Around me is a different story. And then because of my OCD, you know, it's, if you saw my cupboards, yeah, my cans are lined up, labels facing out, they're categorized. I know it's a little scary at times, but on the other hand, it's great when you want to get groceries because you just open up your doors and you can see what you need because there's a hole, something's missing. I think, you know, that probably stems from when I was young. My mom was just crazy messy because she was always crafting. She was always doing something, making something, sewing or whatever the case may be. She sold Artex paints for years, so she was always, I mean, she made every single one of us, and I have 2 other siblings, our whole bedding, and she hand painted it all, and then she bought unfinished furniture for end tables in the bedroom and whatnot, and she painted those to match the quilts. And yeah, I still have the quilt she made when I was a kid, which is, it's beautiful. I still love it. But anyway, I think because of that, I can't do it. I used to drive me nuts when you'd open up a cupboard in our kitchen looking for something, you know, to make, and you couldn't find anything. And then she'd go grocery shopping and she'd buy all the same stuff because she couldn't find anything in the cupboard. So yeah, that's kind of how I grew up, and I think that really affected me as far as being kind of a organization freak. I'm not a neat freak, let me tell you. I mean, my housework's probably, well, I know it isn't the best. When I get on a tangent, then yeah, I'm crazy. I stand on counters and wash walls, and yeah, I just did my bathroom the other day, and you know, it's one of those things where you go in and you don't notice. Well, I don't notice because I'm 5'1", so I'm pretty little, and I don't look up. I think short people just don't look up, and I think the same with tall people because my husband's very tall. He never looks down, so you know, he misses a lot of stuff. I think that's why we work, right? I find things that he can't, and he finds things that I can't. But every time I'd get in the shower, I would look up for some reason, and then I'd see the dust on top of the lights, you know, your vanity lights. It used to drive me insane because I cannot reach up there at all. Even on my little footstool, I can't do it. So I have to get out my stepladder. And I know you're probably saying, why don't you get your husband to do it? Well, you know, I never think about it. And they, you know, they just don't do it the way you want it done, right? When you're OCD, like I am, yeah. So I'd rather do something like that myself. Well, every time I think about it, I'm on my way out the door or whatever. I'm busy doing something else, right? So the other day, I thought about it before I actually got in the shower. So I thought, today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to get in there and I'm going to clean the top of that. And the thing is, you actually need to have a cloth and cleaning solution because, you know, hairspray floats around and that kind of stuff. It's not where you can just take a duster and dust the top of it. You can't, it doesn't work. It doesn't come off. So I busted out my little stool. I got up on my ladder and climbed up on top of the counter in the bathroom. If you saw my bathroom, like, you'd think you're a crazy woman because it's pretty small. I don't have much of a counter to stand on, and Yeah, I'm not a young chick anymore, right? So I do the nuttiest things without thinking. Um, one year, I was in the bedroom, and somebody had egged our house, and this was years ago. Obviously, we weren't home when it happened because I didn't even notice at first. And then we were driving home one day, and I look up at the window, and I'm like, "What is that on the window?" And it was eggs. Somebody had chucked eggs at our house. So, of course, it took me a while because of the shape of my house, where my bedroom is, it's above the closet, dork. It's above the garage with a little overhanging roof from the window. So there's a little roof, and the garage is below us. So you can't just, get a ladder and just go up because it leans against my gutters, which are brand new, and there's no way I'm wrecking those. And anyway, I thought to myself, my husband he had headed off to the gym, and I always get these ideas when I'm in my pajamas. Yes. And it was summer, so of course the eggs had cooked on the house, and they weren't coming off with just soaking it with the hose. It wasn't coming off. So I climbed out my bedroom window in my pajamas and started cleaning my window like a nut job. And I got the windows all done, but you're on a slanted roof, right? So I'm sticking as close to the house as possible and hanging on to the frame of the window. Well, then I noticed that when you go along that little roof, then there's the living room. Well, the living room has a bay window it's a bit of an overhang there as well. Oh, did I do that right? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. I can't talk and chew gum at the same time, apparently. So, what was I saying? Oh, yes. There was some egg on that side, too. So I'm clinging like a spider to the side of the house and inching my way over. They had gotten on the siding as well, so I had to clean that off. But there's nothing to hold on to when you're doing this. And I had gotten all that done, and I was heading back, and then my husband starts walking up to the house. He come from the gym. He looks up, he sees me, he shakes his head, and then continues on into the house. Because he knows I'm a nut job at times. Anyway, that's, that wasn't that many years ago either, so, yeah. And I know you're thinking, what were the neighbors thinking? But yeah, my neighbors are cool. Plus, I live right across the street from a park. There's nobody looking at the front of my house. So, yeah, it was all good. And my house got clean. So, there you go. Accomplished 2 things. So, I'll update you on the renos, because I know I haven't spoken about those for a while. Still don't have the permit for the deck, but we've applied for it now. And of course we couldn't apply for it until we had the drawings. Once you get the drawings, then you have to take the drawings to an engineer. The engineer has to certify that the structure will be sound when built, and then they red seal it. It's stamping it basically, so that you can take that document to the city, and the city puts you in the queue. That's basically what happens. They put you in the queue. And then they tell my husband that, okay, they'll have an inspector out. We live in a, it's not really, I can't call it rural, not anymore, but I guess compared to where I used to live in Vancouver, we're pretty rural out here. We have loads and loads of trees around, and Surrey has this major bylaw that if you remove a tree, you need to plant 2 more. Of course, nobody listens to them. They just take the fine, and it is what it is. But, you know, we are honest, and we want to do things the right way, which is why we're applying for the permit in the first place. Although pretty much everybody on our block just went ahead and built their decks. I couldn't do that. My husband couldn't do that. And plus, if you get caught, like, it's a major fine. And we're not made of money. So, we were told that they would be coming by to check where the trees are on the property. I guess the survey that they had is an original survey. Now, my house is 36 years old, so it's not a new house. And I guess the original survey is all they had. So they're thinking, well, there's going to be huge changes. No. I mean, the trees are bigger, yeah, but they're all still where they were when they were first planted. So anyway, they were talking to him saying that, you know, you might have to have an aerial survey done, which is like another $1,000 for that. And that's just to tell them where the trees are in relation to your house, to your structure. And then they want to know if you're going to encroach on your neighbors. Well, good grief. I've got, yeah, we wouldn't be encroaching because it's not a like a city lot. It's bigger. So the house is a lot smaller than my lot. Tons of room. But I guess they want to know. Anyway, she said that's not definite. I guess whoever comes to check on the trees, they will make that determination. So Ken had come home one day and saw the, I guess it was a Parks Board vehicle and the guy walking away from our house. So we went and spoke to him, and he says, yeah, they told me to come to check to see if you're going to need those tree, you know, those orange fencing that you have to put around the trees. It protects the trees from equipment coming in so that the drivers can see if you're going to run into a tree. He said we didn't need to. And obviously we knew that, but they needed to see. The driveway can have 4 cars in it, so it's a wide, long driveway. Yeah, plus we're not having any equipment come in. It's all getting done by hand. So anyway, he came and we thought that was the end of that. Well, he only checked the front because that's all he was told to do. Then we had somebody else come from the city, and she was what do they call that? It's like basically a tree specialist. They come, they measure the circumference of the tree that's nearest to the structure that you're building. And then they do this little laser measure thing, and it measures from the tree to the house to see how far away the tree is, and it goes on and on. Anyway, then she said that, well, you know, you might have to put up the orange fencing around this cedar tree. Well, the cedar tree's massive. It's massive. It's probably 40 feet tall. So the trunk is quite big. Well, they always give you dimensions that you must have the side. You can't just put the fencing just around the trunk of the tree. It's got to go way out, right? Like that. And I said, well, if we have to do that, that's going to be right where they're building the deck. They're going to run into the fencing. And she said, well, it's not her decision, but it's either that or they require a bond. And it's $500. However, if there's no damage to the tree, once they come and inspect, when the building's done, then you get that money back. So I said, well, can't we just do that? And she says, well, I have to present both. And I thought, why? You know, but all I said to her was, you know, we're starting to feel like we're being punished for doing the right thing, you know, for taking the time and spending the money on getting a permit and jumping through hoops, basically, just to get a deck put up, which that portion of the deck is literally a foot difference from the original deck. Shouldn't make a difference as far as all of those things are concerned. But she didn't say anything about the aerial survey, so we're hoping that they've kind of forgotten about that. Anyway, so far we've had nobody come and say, oh no, you need an aerial survey now, because we need to get one next year for the shed. We've got a really, really ugly falling down shed in the backyard. That's how we bought the house. The shed was just horrible. Well, now that we've had all of our tree thinned out, that big cedar tree's been thinned and pruned and everything. Now you can really see it from the back, and it's really ugly. And my husband, you know, had planned on building a new one, but obviously we can't do it this year. We've just taken on way too many projects, and we're running out of money. So that's a next year's project. And my brother had said to me, well, you realize that when you do that, they're going to require another aerial survey. And I said, what do you mean? You know, if they want us to get one done this year, then yeah, we've got an aerial survey. He goes, yeah, but you don't have the deck up. Once you put the deck up, then they want an aerial survey to show them where the shed is going to go in relation to the deck. So then you need another picture. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So we're kind of just praying that they won't require one this year. And I mean, we knew we'd had to spend the money, but we didn't realize that possibly have to spend it twice. Yeah, because I mean, definitely we're getting the permit. Well, we're also going to apply for it way sooner than we did for this one, because we're still waiting for the permit to come. But in the meantime, my husband has taken all the old siding off the house, and my neighbor, she says she was out at about 1:30 in the morning letting her dog out, and she looks over and all she saw was black, because of course it's all old tar paper, right? So the house has no color anymore. And she's like, oh, it was so creepy. She says it looked like a haunted house. And I thought, oh, that's great, you know. But that's what happens. We have no outside lights, of course, either, because all of that has to come off. And it's just pitch dark and out here. Like I say, we kind of live in a little bit of a rural area. And so that's all done. We had a little bit of dry rot, but just at the very bottom. And so my husband cut that out and fixed that all up. He's taped all of the rips that were in the tar paper, because when you get your house wrapped with the new stuff, which is basically it's Tyvek, you know, the white, it's waterproof stuff that they put on your house first. But they don't take the old tar paper down. You might as well just leave it, you know, and then you've got kind of double protection as well. And less to throw out. I actually have the bin coming today. It's being delivered. So we have a place to throw all of, oh, you should see my backyard. Oh my goodness. It's just loaded with crap. I look like one of those people that, you know, hoarders that never throw anything out in the backyard. It's just nasty, fortunately. All my neighbors are very understanding. And the one on the other side of me, he just went through a whole bunch of renos. They've only lived there maybe a year, a little over a year, I think. And they did like tons of renos. They put an extension on their house and did a beautiful garden in the backyard. They don't have much yard left because of the extension. And their house sits back from mine. It's just a rancher that they have. So the house, you can't see their front door from my front window. It sits back. So they have more frontage than I do. And so now they don't have much backyard, but what they did was beautiful. They did those grasses and big boulders, and oh, it's gorgeous. And really low maintenance, which is really nice. Anyway, what else was done? We bought the little window that's going, we have to replace the window that's downstairs. We were going to just hold it up, because I told you guys before, there's a bathroom downstairs that we have to reno. Well, I think we'd lived here about 3 years, And one day I was walking down the side of the house, which I don't typically do. I mean, if I, would go outside, I'd go out my kitchen door. But for some reason, I was walking down the side of the house, and I look over, and I see a window that I don't know what room it's in. And I'm thinking, where does that window go to? And then it hits me. I'm like, that's in the bathroom. But there is no window in the bathroom. So when they, I don't know these people, when they put in the bathroom, they put in one of those molded shower tub stall things. And they didn't cut out a hole for the window. They literally installed it right over the window. So we had no idea there was even a bathroom window. Anyway, Ken had said, well, when we had all of our windows replaced, he goes, well, I'm not, going to do the bathroom window. I'm just going to close it in, basically. Plywood it over and insulate it and everything. So there'll be no bathroom window. We've never had one, so why spend money on another window? And it'd be a hassle because we'd have to rip that bathroom apart to let them install the new window. And he didn't want to do that either. So he said, no, when we renovate the bathroom, we'll just close it in. Well, now that we're doing the siding, we had to close it in sooner. So he cut out part of the shower stall so that he could get to the window. Well, when he did that, I mean, the difference in that bathroom is massive. It's massive. It's the light was phenomenal. So, of course, I always wanted the bathroom window put back in. And he kept vetoing it, and I said, well, okay, it's your decision, do what you want to do, it's fine. I don't use the bathroom downstairs. I have my own bathroom in the master bedroom. That's the one I use. And the downstairs one, it will be lovely. Like, it'll be way nicer than our upstairs bathroom, even though mostly just company will use it. But, if you're going to do something, right, you might as well put in what you really, really want. All the bathrooms in this house are tiny. They're very small. But the downstairs, we really wanted to put in a walk-in shower and get rid of the tub. I mean, we would never in a million years use a bathtub down there. So that's what we had planned, a walk-in shower, and we're going to do the tile. So it's the same tile from, as soon as you hit the doorway, that tile will go right into the tub and right up the wall, or not tub, right into the shower, right up the wall, and then the center, so your shower stall is here, the center part will be a different tile, and it'll go up the side of the wall as a contrast. And then there'll be an overhead rain shower, plus a detachable one from the wall, and a 3/4 clear glass. Well, we're thinking frosted glass, actually. We're thinking about getting the glass with a sandblasted pitcher in it. My brother's friend owns a company that does that, and my husband did some work for him, so we probably could get it done for nothing. And yeah, there's going to be no shower door, so you'll actually see all the tile and everything, and it's going to be so pretty. And we're putting in a heated floor because it is the ground floor. It's on concrete, so we're going to do a heated floor in there. And yeah, the taps and shower head and everything like that is that antique bronze rubbed oil, so it's the darker stuff. It's really, really nice. And that bathroom's going to be beautiful. And then, of course, I'll feel like I need to redo my upstairs bathroom. But no, I'm not doing that. I mean, yes, there's going to be some changes. They had updated the upstairs bathroom, but yeah, not really. I mean, they put in a new vanity, and the floor was new. Well, it looks like crap now. They put cheap flooring in, and they never changed the tile in the tub. So it's original tile with little tiny flowers on the tile. Yeah, totally not my taste. and we want to change the tub. Because they put in white, everything white, like the toilet and the sink, but they left the tub almond. So, yeah, that's going to be ripped out. But, of course, we can't do the upstairs until we have a downstairs, because you still need a shower that works. So that'll get done, hopefully this winter, over winter, because, I mean, all the outside will be done. He'll have time to do the inside. I don't know about money, but, well, actually, yeah, we have most of it right now because we bought all of the fixtures, and we have the vanity, the mirror, the toilet, all of the shower heads, taps, drains, the tile, the window. So we have everything except the heated flooring and the Schluter kit, which is... it's like a form that it's a waterproof membrane thingy that you put in and then you tile over it. And then the bit of blue, I guess it's blue gyprock or cement board, however you want to say it. It's the one you use in a bathroom to prevent mold. We don't have that yet, but really it's... that'll be the cheap part because it's, like I say, tiny bathroom. There won't be much to buy. And then we have to, we've even got the ceiling fan, and we don't have the pot lights yet though. I'm going to put one pot light in the shower at the end where the little footrest will be so that you can actually see when you're wanting to shave your legs. And then my brother, because the ceiling is one of those drop ceilings that they put those white removable ugly tile things, ceiling tiles, that's what's in there right now. Well, the ceiling's pretty low. My husband's pretty tall. And my brother looked at it and said, yeah, I can move some of the piping so that we can raise the ceiling in the shower stall, like basically on the right hand side where the vanity would be, the toilet and the shower. All of that will be raised, and then on the other side there'll be a bulkhead for your main water. We can't move that pipe, but we can move the other stuff. So that will be a bit of work. I think that has to be done, well, I know that has to be done first after we've ripped down the walls and whatnot. But, we ran out of room as well, so we have to complete some projects and then move our stuff back so that we have room to move other things again, Yeah, and I'm actually better than I thought I would be with the mess and the chaos, and I thought I'd be way worse, but yeah, I'm doing okay. I mean, I haven't seen my kitchen table in a few months, because it's covered with a tarp. After the siding goes in and the deck gets started, then my husband's painting the house inside. We've done the ceiling in the kitchen, which is why the drop cloth is there, but that's as far as we got. And now that there's just so much going on, I said just leave it until, all that outside mess gets settled and done. Yeah, I think that's it. So I didn't realize I was just gonna keep doing this instead of stopping because I talk so much. Oh, I had somebody leave me a comment and called it constructive criticism. I didn't respond too well, to be honest with you, to her constructive criticism. It was for the flip-through video, and you know how I always do my flip-throughs, and I explain what I've done, how I've done it. I basically think of this channel as a teaching channel. Just sharing things that I've learned over the many years that I've been crafting, and I like to pass them along, and you can watch or not watch. It's up to you. You can mute me, you can fast forward me, whatever. I don't take that personally, but because I do the same thing. I want to see somebody's journal, but I don't necessarily want to hear them talk. So I just mute it. Well, yeah, she basically said that nobody wants to hear You know, things like, for instance, I had mentioned that when I showed the bag and how I had gotten the bag from McDonald's. Nobody wants to know that. And nobody wants this and that and the other thing. And, you know, we basically just want to watch you flip through the video. And so I was going to run something by you guys. And, you know, she made a point of saying she's not a troll. That, you know, I hope you look at this as constructive criticism. Quite frankly, I didn't. Because I thought, well, you know, she says something about I'm in constant pain. She suffers from chronic pain, I guess. And, you know, I have friends who go through that. So I understand, you know, and I'm sympathetic, right? But I had said, yeah, but you don't seem to have a problem causing other people pain with your words, you know? Like, honestly, she was like, who's got time to, you were 9 minutes before you even showed anything. And I'm like, yeah, because I told you I was, you know, giving some information. Fast forward it. But she's like, well, then when I do that, everybody sounds like a chipmunk, and that's just grating on my nerves. And, you know, I'm like, mute it. Hello? So anyways, all this stuff, and she goes on and on and on. Literally a page. Like, it was a long page. And she had basically then said, you know, I don't have time to sit and watch. And I'm like, but you had time to write this big, long, you know, criticism of somebody? I said, honestly, don't watch me. Because it won't offend me. Really won't offend me. You know, and she's like, well, you're a subscriber. I'm like, people subscribe or they don't. That's really what it comes down to. And I'm not in this to make money. I mean, yes, I do make a little money, but that's not what I'm here for. You know, so I guess some people are, and I appreciate that. This is their job. And I mean, technically this is my job. Well, part of my job. I find this more therapeutic than an actual job. I consider my job in creating my digital kits. That's my job. And this is just fun, really. Well, creating the kits too is a lot of fun. But regardless, some people do this to make a living. And yay for YouTube for some people, right? Because they can't get out of their house, or for whatever reason. If you can make money doing this, great. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. You know, I supplement our income with this. It's not something I rely on. And sometimes I do well, and sometimes I do very poorly. It really just depends on how much I, you know, put into it, how much work and time I put into it. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. So maybe she feels that, you know, I'm doing this because I'm trying to promote and get more subscribers. And I'm always blown away at how many I actually have. Because, you know, so I view my own videos, obviously. I want to know if I've said something I shouldn't say or whatever. So I view them and I think, wow, how are people not bored by this? How are people still tuning in, leaving me awesome comments, and yeah, not kind of walking away? How is that even happening? But it is, and so you guys are awesome. You really are. And I'm not just saying that. I really mean it. So, you know, for me, this is all just a lot of fun. And yeah, if you guys can learn something, then I feel like this has been worth it to me to do this. It's a pleasure, really. So I don't know what her deal was, but whatever. I just deleted the comment. And yeah, I think the other thing is I think people think that it's going to really bug me. No, it doesn't. You meet all kinds of people doing this. I've had major trolls on my channel, and basically I blast them and then I just block them. Because, yes, I feel I'm a nice person. I like to be kind and generous to people. But sometimes, you just have to say, really, just pound sand, as my son would say. I actually loved that term. First time he said that, I was like, oh, that's funny, I'm using that. So anyway, it is what it is, and I get followers who do nothing but leave me thumbs down. I get the same too, and almost every single video, and I think to myself, well, that's cool, I got 2 views. So that's the way I look at it. Yeah. I know some people have quit YouTube because they just couldn't take it. Some people get really hassled, and people are always on them, and they spread rumors and all kinds of nasty things. That's what happened to Crafty Irina. That's why you don't see her on anymore. Yeah, she just got sick and tired of it. And she's the sweetest person. I met her, actually. We were on Maui a few years back, and her and her husband were celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary, and they were going to be on the island at the same time as me. So she came to where I was staying, and so we met in person. And, we we'd been communicating for a long time. And then, she's a really kind, generous, very generous person. But, when you keep getting kicked in the teeth from certain people, then, she didn't need the money either. It was doing it because she loved it, and she loved being generous to people, and she had a lot going on. And so, she quit. She hasn't had any videos up in over a year. And I know she was going through moving and whatnot. Her mother had finally passed away, and so anyway, I don't know if she even views her comments, but if you are a subscriber to her still, just leave her a couple of nice comments on her channel. Let her know people are still thinking of her. I don't know, like I say, I don't know if she'll view them or she's just completely walked away. I don't know. But couldn't have met a nicer person, really. So it's unfortunate. But, as far as me, I'm way too stubborn. Yeah. I'm not letting people push me out of something that I love to do. So they can go ahead and leave as many thumbs down as they want. All I tell myself is, well, somebody watched it. That's all that matters. Anyway. Sorry, no, you can't see this part. I'm just using my hole punch and trying to get it centered. Sometimes it doesn't work, like in that case. I just use my felt, go in and darken it. Sometimes it's hard for me to line it up. I wonder if maybe I should design them so it's just a circle, and then no white would show when you punched a hole. Looks funny though. I kind of used the white as a gauge. I did a really bad job on that one though. Make it a little bit bigger. Oh, actually, let's see. What if I use, where's my big one? I use that one. And stick it on the edge there. Boy, that's crooked. What's up with that? Wow, that literally hits the side. I don't know why. Never did before. There we go. So hubby's at work today, and like I say, I'm waiting for the... Oh, gee. You know what I'm going to end up doing? Is getting out my reinforcers. There is always a fix, you guys, when you mess up. Always. So that's what I'm gonna do, is just put that, I'll put two, one in front, one in back. And I just, when I want them darker, I just ink them. So this is all just done out of scraps of paper, really. Okay, then glue. Come on, move. Yeah. That's good. Ah, this side looks fine. So, yeah, don't even need to do one on the other side. I might do that with all of these because that's really nice. I like it. That looks good. Oh, get that out of the shot. I sure hope I'm like holding these the right way so you can, although it's inking, I mean, come on. You can see how I ink. It's really, yeah, nothing special. But you wanted to see beginning to end. Well, this is the beginning, the boring part. This is the part that I end up having to take quite a few breaks because the way I hold my shoulder, I'm right-handed, but that whole neck, shoulder, and my shoulder blade gets so sore from doing this. Even though I've got a lumbar pillow now, I bought one for my chair, and that's made a huge difference, to be honest with you, but it doesn't affect my shoulder, unfortunately. And I've had a number of pretty bad falls over the course of 10 years, and yeah, it's starting to pay me back as I get older. Darn it, I did it again. That's okay. I'm going to put the reinforcer on that. It's too bad that when you use one of these, you didn't have like a window around it or something, you know, so you could actually see better. Wow, there you go. I've just invented something and somebody will make millions on it. Ooh, did I tell you guys that I bought a Vitamix? Oh, I'm so excited. I made soup right in it out of raw vegetables. You don't cook anything. You throw it all in there, throw your spices in there, throw your bouillon or whatever you're going to use. I found an organic one, which is great. So I tried that for the first time yesterday. And all I had really, when the weather's nice, we generally just eat salad. That's, you know, what we eat for vegetables. And so I didn't have a whole lot. I ended up using the last of my celery because my husband doesn't eat the heart part, the middle. It doesn't hold enough cream cheese for him. So he never eats that part. And so I had that. It's funny, he never eats it, but he never throws it out either. You have one of those at home? I used, I had some cabbage because I was doing Chinese dumplings, keto dumplings, using cabbage, and you use the cabbage for your roll part. Oh, they're so delicious. And of course I can't use the whole cabbage because as it gets too small, you can't get any stuffing in it. So I had the leftover of that, and then I had a red pepper. So I threw all of those in as vegetables. I put in some cream, some heavy cream, and the bouillon, and I added ginger paste, and I added chili peppers and garlic. And you can just throw the garlic in whole. Like you don't even need to peel it. You just throw the whole thing in. And so I did garlic, salt, pepper. I think that might have been it. And ginger paste. It was delicious. So I just tasted it. I didn't want to eat it because I'd already started dinner. But I portioned it out into 3 containers. So I'll be taking a container up to my mother-in-law today, and kept 2 for myself. So I froze one, and I've got one in the fridge. I'm probably going to have that as what I will use to break my fast today. And yeah, I might as well go ahead and punch the hole in this one. I hate it when your thing starts shedding, but I just changed that not long ago. They sure don't last very long. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Okay, I never get this lined up right. Let's try there. Oh, yeah. Anyway, need the reinforcer. Okay. So I think that's the update on the house. The guys are coming on Wednesday to wrap the house. Where did this one go? To waterproof it. Then I guess on Thursday they come and they put the it's a rain, what is it called? Rain, I don't know the name of it. Basically it's strips of 1x2s, I think they are. And that allows, it makes like a channel in between your siding and your house. So if any water does get behind it, for whatever reason, if it's really blowing or whatever, it channels it down to the bottom. So they do that, and then they put like a bug screen on the bottom so that you don't get a whole bunch of critters making their way up. So that'll be probably Thursday, Friday. And then on Monday, I guess, they start the siding part of it. And then that should take about a month. I know it's not a big house, but it's a friend of mine. It's his company that's doing it, and it's a 2-man show. So it will take time, and that's okay. I trust him, and I'd rather give him the business. So that's what's happening. And that might just coordinate perfectly with getting the permit for the deck, because they should be finished the siding by the time we get the permit, and then my husband's stepbrother can come and start doing that. Well, hopefully by the end of the year, all the outside house, not the property, just the house, will be completed. And then, like I say, we can get our painting done on the inside. I actually am changing a couple of rooms. The kitchen, when I bought this house, the whole house was painted warm white, which is great because very neutral palette, so all your artwork that you have pops and it's nice. It looks clean, right? But I'm a color girl. So, and my husband, yeah, he wanted to do exactly the same color. I'm like, we've been here 11 years. It's time to change. Let's do something different. So I kind of talked him into changing a little bit. It's nothing major, really. I think he was okay with my choices. The kitchen, it is still a warm white, but it has a hint of green in it. So that gives me a little bit of color. Real happy with that. These are ones I had cut out already. And oh yeah, they're done in the 61-pound weight photo paper. These were already done. I don't know, I guess I was printing them out for something else. But forgot I had these printed out, so printed them again. So I have quite a few of these. These ones were not inked. These ones were. Or were they? No, maybe only one was. Yeah, that one's inked. Where did I put all the ink stuff? There it is. This one wasn't. I love these little baby tags. They're so cute. Anyway, then in the living room, so we're keeping the warm white pretty much throughout the house, but in the living room, my fireplace wall is going to be painted sort of a gold color. My armchairs have the same color in them. They're a patterned recliner chair, but the color that I chose is in the chair itself. I thought it would look nice and just give a little bit of color. Yeah. He's, I don't know if it's all men or it can't be all men, but a lot of men don't like change, right? And my husband's no different. His opinion, if it looks good now, then leave it. And me, I'm like, I want to change stuff all the time. But he's not like that. I printed some plain ones as well. I like including plain tags because then you can do your own stamping or write on them, whatever you want to do. I really love the little ones. For that, like you can sort of put a little ribbon or something and hang it beside a photo with the write-up on the little tag about the photo. And there's all kinds of cute little things. And they're good for adding to a bottle of wine that you're giving away or whatever. They don't have to stay in your journal, right? They're just kind of cute. Sometimes my cutter leaves little fuzzies. Partly it's the paper. It is photo paper, so it's like layered. So it's partly that, and it's partly how you push on the rotary. Mine's a rotary cutter by Fiskars. And if you've got that or something similar, if you push down when it's paper, push down so that the wheel hits the bottom, then the wheel will turn and you get a nice smooth cut. If you're using a heavy cardstock like I use, if you push on the bottom as you're pushing forward, then the blade goes closer to the edge of your cutting machine, and then you get a cleaner cut. So clearly, I didn't do that. But that's kind of been my little experiment. And it works well. most of the time. And then when I feel like it's just not cutting clean, I just use a fine grit sandpaper and just trim it. I just shave off little edges on a sheet of dollar store grit paper, right? It's fine. It's very fine grit. And it just takes off any glue you might end up with or whatever sticky. Sometimes I get sticky stuff on my blade, and it does prevent it from cutting cleanly. So another little tip for you. So that's that. I will continue to finish off I like to get all of this done ahead of time, and then I can concentrate on assembling. And you know, some of these videos will be extremely boring, just because sometimes I just sit there and go, well, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I would try and kind of have something in mind before I actually start the video, but that doesn't always happen, you guys. So if you're truly wanting to see this start to finish and how I definitely struggle at times, you know, and in the finished product, it always looks like, wow, you know, that came together. And yeah, that's not always the process. You know, lots of times it's scratching your head and walking away. And well, crafters know this, right? It's you get inspired and then you have to take advantage. But sometimes you can't. You know, sometimes you have other obligations, and so you're not able to get in, you know, your room or wherever you craft to put into play the ideas you have in your head. And that does happen to me at times, especially now with the renovations taking place. And trying to keep your house half decent while you're under renovations is a major challenge, I have to tell you. And I'm not the best housekeeper as it is. So I'm one of these everything in its place kind of people, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's clean. You know what I mean? Like I say, I get on tangents and I climb ladders and do crazy things, but that doesn't happen too often. So I'll bust out the vacuum and then I get bored with that. That's the thing, I get bored and want to do something different. So I can't spend a whole day doing housework. That's just completely boring. But my house is tidy and presentable. I wish I was more of I have a friend who's like a total neat freak, and her house is so nice. You walk in and it smells good, and not that mine stinks, I'm not saying that, but yeah. But then I think to myself, yeah, but she doesn't craft, right? When I craft, I lose all sense of time. How long have I been talking? Oh, wow. Over an hour already. Wow, okay. I'm going to end this video, you guys, because that's just too long. So next time I see you, all of this will be done. And then I guess I'll kind of spitball some ideas with you on how I want to do the layout, what I envision with the book. I usually have all that done ahead of time in my head, and then I just plow through. And you know, it'll be very noisy, so I might not be able to film as much as I was hoping to, just because you know, they'll be working outside and hammering and making all kinds of noise. So I typically craft in the daytime. I don't craft at night. It's too dark, even with all my lights on. I'm just not comfortable crafting at night. And I like to spend some time with Ken, so yeah, I'm not in my craft room too much. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking to the end if you did. Yay. So we'll talk later. Bye.